Today, before we begin our flow, I'm going to talk a little bit about the options for side plank. I remember when I first started doing yoga and I came into a side plank and I thought, no, this pose is not for me because it is quite difficult to hold. You can come into it and then you start holding it and it gets pretty hard on the wrist. The core takes a lot of energy to hold a side plank. And so today I'd like to present you with some options that you could take, some modifications of side plank that can work your way up to holding a full traditional side plank pose. So the first thing I'd like to discuss is the traditional side plank. Traditional side plank has both feet stacked, one on top of the other, and one hand down on the ground with the fingers pointing straight towards the short end of the mat, just like a chaturanga hand. Your hips are being pushed up towards the sky, and the upper hand comes up, stretching up towards the sky as well. In traditional side plank, you almost want to imagine that you're making a rainbow shape with your hips. You really want to push those hips up, and this strengthens all the muscles here. It takes a lot of strength to hold this right here. But that pose is pretty wobbly if you're still building up that strength. So if you come into a traditional side plank and you realize, oh no, I don't really want to hold this, then you can take some other options that will help you develop the muscles that you need to get to the point where you can hold a traditional side plank. The first option is to drop this lower leg down. So here in side plank, you've got your feet stacked one on top of the other. This lower leg here, the one on the bottom, you can just drop that knee down to the mat and have your foot kicking off the side of the mat at a 90-degree angle. And then you bring that upper hand up as well. So this one distributes the weight a lot better. You've got your knee and your foot and your hand. So you have 3 points of contact with the ground here instead of just 2. So it's a lot easier to balance, especially with that foot kicking off the side. You have that whole bottom leg there resting on the ground. A lot easier to balance, but you're still building up those side muscles that you need in order to hold that side plank. The second option, once you feel like you can progress a little bit from there, like you're not so wobbly anymore, is to bring the second upper foot in front of the bottom foot. So you're staggering your feet instead of stacking them. And that gives you a bigger base at the bottom there. You still are developing all those muscles in the core that it takes to hold this pose, but you don't feel quite so wobbly because you've got 2 feet down at the bottom of the mat to balance on. Now, if you're having trouble in side plank with some elbow pain, wrist pain, shoulder pain in that arm, and you feel like it's hurting you to hold the position in any of those spots on your arm, then you can always take a side plank on your forearm. And especially if you have elbow or shoulder or wrist problems, that's gonna maybe feel a little bit better there. You just plant your forearm down. You want that forearm to come at a little bit of an angle. And you can have the same options here with your feet to stack or stagger with the front foot and the top foot coming in front. But you can also take that top foot and drop it down on the mat in front of you. So your toes are kind of pointing towards the long edge of the mat, maybe even a little bit sticking off that edge of the mat. And that's where you get a little extra to balance on as well. You distribute the weight a little bit more evenly. It's not quite as difficult to hold this pose as it is to hold the traditional side plank with your forearm down. So those are all your different choices for side plank. We'll come into side plank today during our flow, and you're welcome to take any of those options. And you should also remember that as we go through our practice, if there is any pose that you feel like you want to modify like that, you're always welcome to take a different modification of any pose, just listening to your body. Really, that's the most important thing, is to listen to and honor what your body is feeling. So let's begin in child's pose today. Coming to a kneeling position, you can have some space between your knees, or you can bring them together. Inhale, lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding over the feet. Stretch your fingertips out in front of you. Relax your forehead down towards the ground. If you like, you can wrap your hands back behind you, reaching towards your feet with your palms facing up, and let your shoulders drape over the knees. And get really comfortable here. Close your eyes. Settle into your mat. And begin to call attention to your breath. Start to deepen and lengthen each breath. If you like, you can use the mountain breath to regulate the speed at which you're lengthening. If it's accessible to you today, you can breathe in and out of the nose with the lips sealed. And start to look for your yoga breath, the Ujjayi breath. Imagine that you're fogging up a mirror with your lips closed, making a sort of a ha sound in the back of your throat. And just listen to that sound. Let the sound of your breath fill your mind, clearing away all other thoughts and bringing your attention fully into your body. Here and now. Bring yourself fully present. Start to do a body scan. We're just checking in here. No need to change anything. From the crown of your head, work your way through the back of your neck, checking in with your facial muscles, and go across the shoulders, down the arms, through the elbows, wrists, and fingers, and then move down the spine through your upper, middle, and lower back. Reminding yourself as you go of any tension spots, any injuries, any places that bother you. Work your way through your hips, down into your legs, knees, ankles, and toes. Now's a good time to remind yourself of any injuries you have, old or new. Even those old injuries sometimes make us come into poses a little bit differently than we would have. And every body has a different history and a different genetic makeup that you need to take into account as you go through your practice. Remember that it's always okay to take a break or to modify any pose to suit your body and where you are in this moment. Take a few more deep, full breaths here. Just being inside of your body. Keeping your chest really low to the ground, start to curl your fingertips all the way over to the right. Hips can lean a bit to the left. Feel like you can rest on your left cheek. And now crawl your hands all the way over to the left. Hips can lean a bit to the right. Maybe you want to rest on your right cheek here. Curl your hands back to center, and then come into puppy pose. Walk the fingertips forward. Lift the hips up. Hips can come right above your knees or just behind, and then reach your chin or chest down towards the mat. Feel a nice gentle back bend here, stretching out the belly. On your next inhale, lift up your chest, bring your hands back, and make your way to hands on each tabletop. And then adjust so that your wrists come right below the shoulders and the knees come right below the hips. Move through cat-cow with the breath. Inhale, belly drops down, roll the shoulders back, bring your gaze up or forward. Exhale, rounding out through the spine. Push your vertebrae up towards the ceiling one at a time. Relax your head and neck down and bring your gaze through your knees. Keep moving just like that. Always going with the breath. Now march to the beat of our own drum. Just find that cadence with your breath. Stretching out your motions. Taking your whole breath to complete each motion. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's make our way into thread the needle. Lift your right arm high. Take a deep breath in, stacking the shoulders. Exhale, send the right arm through underneath the left and come to rest on the right shoulder and the right cheek. With your left hand, you can crawl your fingertips forward, a nice stretch through that left arm. Wrap your left hand back behind you for a little twist, reaching towards the right hip. Or leave your left hand where it was. Plant your hand on the mat and drop your elbow down to the mat. To challenge your core, lift your left leg high, push through the heel, flex the toes. Don't worry about how high you can get that leg. Listen to your body. Let your body tell you when to stop. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release. Drop your left knee back down to the mat. Bring the left hand right next to your face. Unwind. On a breath in, pushing through your left hand. Lift your right arm high. Give your wrist a couple turns. And set your right hand back down on the mat. Switching sides. Left arm comes up. Big breath in, stacking the shoulders. Exhale, send the left arm through underneath the right. Coming to rest on the left shoulder and the left cheek. Same options with the right hand. Crawl the fingertips forward. Get a nice stretch through that arm. Wrap your right hand back behind you, reaching towards the left hip for a little twist. Or leave your right hand where it was. Plant your hand on the mat. Drop the right elbow down. If you want that little extra challenge, you can lift your right foot high, push through your heel, and flex your toes. If you ever feel wobbly here, just drop your right elbow back down to the mat to stabilize. One more big breath in here. Exhale, dropping your right knee back down to the mat. Unwind, pushing through the right hand. Big breath in, lifting your left arm high. Give your wrist a couple turns. And set your left hand back down on the mat. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up. Making that upside down V with the ground here. You can move around a little bit. Find a nice comfy down dog position. Make sure your fingers are pointing forward. You can either have the middle fingers or the index fingers pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. Pushing down through the pads at the ends of each of your fingers. Fingers are open nice and wide. Hands and feet should both be about hip width distance apart. You can play around with that and see what feels really nice for you. Some people prefer to have their feet a little bit closer together. You don't want them too wide though. Heels are reaching towards the floor, but they don't need to touch, just going in that direction. And the shoulders are moving down the back, towards the hips, out of the ears. You can move around your legs, bending one knee and then the other, just getting the blood flowing through the knees and the hips. Head and neck are dangling down towards the ground. And give your head a little wiggle, nod your head yes, and shake your head no. And then just let it fall back to its center point. Lift your right heel high, take a deep breath in. Step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out and rise up on an inhale to low lunge, dropping that left knee down to the mat. You can drop your hands down to your right knee to help with balance if you're feeling wobbly. Once you're nice and stable, lift your hands up overhead, turn the pinkies in to keep the shoulders moving down the back. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, twisting to the right. Drop your left hand across your right knee and reach your right arm back. Maybe it's lining up with the back leg, or just come as close as you comfortably can. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck your left toes under, left knee pops up. Plant your left hand right next to the right foot, and inhale, lifting your right arm high. Open arm twist toward the side. If it's okay on the neck, you can bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. One more big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Look forward, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, step your left foot up to your right, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in, lift up your chest, bringing the torso parallel to the ground. Folding forward as you breathe out, relax your upper body down. Inhale, rising up to standing, bend your knees, roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time, hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the right. Up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Inhale, rising up to center. Standing back bend on your exhale. Cactus the arms or drop the hands to your back pockets. Straight back up to breathe in. Exhale, diving forward, hinging from the hips. Stay really strong in the legs. Keep a nice long spine as you go down. Half lift, breathing in, bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Exhale, double dip, chaturanga. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank, up a push-up. Keep your knees up or drop them down to the mat. Inhale to up dog or cobra. If your legs are on the ground, keep your elbows bent. Exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Left side, left heel comes up high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands, drop the right knee down to the mat, and rise up on an inhale to low lunge. If you ever feel wobbly, drop your hands down to your knee. And once you get your hands up, turn the pinkies in, feel your shoulder blades sliding down your back. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, twisting around to the left, drop the right hand across the left knee and reach your left arm back. Maybe it comes to line up with the back leg. Maybe you're just reaching towards that direction. On your next breath in, raise your hands back up overhead. Exhale the knees, plant your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck your right toes under, right knee pops up. Bring all the way to your right hand. Inhale, lifting your left arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side. If it's okay on the neck, you can bring the gaze up towards your left hand. Take one last deep breath in here. Exhale, release, drop your left hand back down to the mat. Look forward, take a big breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot up to your left. Forward fold at the front of the mat. Half lift to breathe in. Pull the shoulders down the back, opening up the chest. Folding forward on your exhale, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale to standing, bend your knees. Come up nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch again, this time to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the left. Up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Be really gentle with your neck here. Back up, straight on a breath in. And exhale, folding forward. Take your whole breath to come down. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga. As you breathe out, keep your elbows tucked right next to the rib cage. Inhale, coming to up dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. One last sensation, straight up and down this time, no side stretch. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale all the way to standing. Let your arms dangle down till your head comes up and then lift them up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, diving forward, nice long spine as you go down. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip, chaturanga, breathing out. Don't go below your elbows while you're lowering down. Up dog or cobra to breathe in. Pull the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Lift your right leg high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bringing the knee to the nose. Shoulders come right over the wrists. Foot goes back up to breathe in. Exhale, tap your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, sending your right heel high. Exhale, cross it over, tapping it to the left elbow. Straight back up to breathe in. And step the foot through between your hands as you breathe out. Rising up on an inhale, make your way to crescent lunge. Both toes pointing straight forward. Hips squared off towards the short end of the mat. Feet are on two different train tracks here. Back heel is lifted. Front knee has a nice deep bend in it. Should be directly over that ankle. Once you get your legs all situated, bring your hands up, turn your pinkies in, feel your shoulder blades sliding down your back. We're going to do 3 knee dips here. They can be really little or go really low. Whatever feels right to you. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, dipping the left knee towards the ground. Cactus your arms. You can come into a little back bend here if you like. Inhale, back up to crescent lunge. 2 more times with the breath. Exhale, dipping the left knee down. Last one. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, dipping the left knee. Back up to crescent lunge to breathe in. And open out to warrior 2 as you breathe out, stretching your arms straight out in either direction, pivoting that back foot around. Check on your feet here. Back heels all the way down on the mat, front heels intersecting the back heel or the back arch. Peek at the back hand and make sure it's nice and high. Sometimes it likes to droop down when you're not looking at it. And bring the gaze over the front middle finger. Five yoga jumping jacks with the breath. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior 2. 4 more, just going with your breath at your own pace. 3, just stretch your breath out, stretching out the motion to match the breath. 2, and last one. Coming into Prasarita, wide-legged forward bend, straighten out the front knee, drop your hands to your hips, and turn the right toes toward the long edge of the mat. Line up your feet so that your pinky toe edges come parallel to each other. Pull your elbows towards each other behind your back. Puff up your chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hinging from the hips, folding forward, leading with the chest, keeping a really long spine as you go down. Once you find your edge, you can release your hands down to the ground. Relax your head and neck. Maybe you want to adjust your feet here if you like. You can always have a block here underneath your hands. Some of my students really like that. And then start to crawl your hands forward. Get a nice stretch in the arms and the legs and the back. Make sure your shoulders are still down the back, towards the hips, out of the ears. And keep the hips in line with the feet. Legs should be perpendicular to the ground, not leaning forward. Now, walk your hands through your feet, turning your fingertips around so they're pointing in the opposite direction behind you. And see how far out behind you can comfortably crawl those fingers, finding your edge, listening to the body. You might feel this stretch first on the back of the legs or in your shoulders. Whenever you find your edge, you want to pull back just a little bit, pushing the edge from the inside. Walk your hands back to center. Coming into a little twist here. Reach your right hand out and grab onto your left leg anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh is fine. Wherever your hand naturally goes. And then with your left hand, you're going to start to crawl your fingertips overhead towards the right. You don't need to get very far. You might feel this in one of your shoulders or one of your legs. Just listen to your body. Let your body tell you when to stop. Release your hands, switch sides. Left hand reaches out, grabs onto the right leg, anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh. And then start to crawl your right fingers overhead towards the left. This side might feel very different from the other side. You might want to grab onto that leg in a different spot. Maybe you don't get as far with the right hand. Maybe you can go even farther. Just respect the boundaries of your body. Release your hands. Bring both hands right underneath your face. Weight comes to both of your hands to bend your knees and pull your heels in towards each other. Inhale, rising up to starfish. Exhale, sink down into horse. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. You want to try to bring your upper arms and upper legs as close as you can comfortably come to being parallel to the ground. You don't need to be perfectly parallel, just reaching in that direction. Spine is nice and straight. Sometimes people tend to lean forward in this pose. Try to straighten out that spine, lengthening the spine. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky, and focus on your breath. On your next inhale, rise back up to starfish. Exhale, opening out to warrior two. Take one more big breath in here. As you breathe out, cartwheel the hands down, framing the front foot. Send your right heel high, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Dogger cobra to breathe in. And downward facing dog on your exhale. Let's take a little rest here. Make your way to child's pose or any other comfortable resting position. Drop your knees down, push your hips back to your heels, relax your forehead down. Again, you have the choice to have your hands stretched out in front of you or wrapping back towards the feet. Close your eyes. You can gently rock side to side here on your forehead. Moving the hips just a little bit. That feels good. Maybe you want to find some stillness. That's okay too. Lengthen your breath here. If your hands are wrapped back towards the feet, bring them back out in front of you. On a breath in, lift up your chest, coming to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's do that sequence on the left. Lift your left foot high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders right over the wrists. Foot goes back up, breathing in. Exhale, tap your left knee to your left elbow. Inhale, sending the left heel high. Exhale, cross it over, tapping it to the right elbow. Straight back up to breathe in. And step your foot through between your hands as you breathe out. Rising up on an inhale to crescent lunge. Both toes pointing forward, back right heel's lifted. Front left knee, nice deep bend right over that ankle. Hips squared off towards the short end of the mat. Once you get your legs all situated, lift your hands up, turn the pinkies in, feel your shoulder blades moving down your back. Three knee dips on this side. You can go real low with that right knee or just a tiny little dip, whatever's right for you. Take a big breath in. Exhale, dipping the right knee down, cactus your arms, really gentle back bend if that feels okay. Back up, breathing in. Exhale, dipping the right knee down. Last one. Come back up to crescent lunge on a breath in. And open out to warrior two as you breathe out. Pivot your back foot around and drop the heel down. Line up your feet, bringing the front heel in line with the back heel or the back arch. Peek at the back hand, make sure it's nice and high. And bring the gaze up to the front middle finger. Check in on your front knee here. Sometimes in warrior two, the front knee starts to bend, folding forward, folding towards the side, down towards the big toe side of the foot. Just push it back in line, making sure that lower leg is perfectly perpendicular to the floor. And let's do our yoga jumping jacks. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly making your way back down to warrior two. 4 more, just go with your breath. Find your own pace. I'm just counting so you know where I am. 3, 2, and last one. Coming into press Sarita again, straighten out the front knee, drop your hands down to your hips, and turn the left toes toward the long edge of the mat. Lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, sweep your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, push down to puff up the chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, folding forward, leading with the chest, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck and peel the arms off the back. Push through your hands up towards the ceiling. Feel the shoulder blades sliding down the back. Release your hands. Let your hands slide down your legs, coming to stop wherever it feels good. You can reach all the way down to the feet. You can tuck your fingers underneath the pinky toe edges of the feet. And then bend your elbows straight out to come even deeper into the fold. Release your hands. Bring both hands right underneath your face. We're going to come into another little twist here. Plant your right hand on the ground and inhale, lifting your left arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side. You should feel this twist right in the center of the spine. Try to keep your hips still in line with the feet. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release. Drop your left hand down to the ground and switch sides. Left hand comes right underneath the face. Inhale, lifting the right arm high. Keep the hips in line with the feet and the legs. Try to stack the shoulders, bringing the arms perpendicular to the floor. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards your right hand. Take one last deep breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Weight comes to both of your hands to bend your knees and pull your heels in towards each other. Inhale, rising up to starfish. Exhale, sinking down into horse. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. 4 more times like that with the breath. Inhale up to starfish. Exhale down into horse. Remember, you don't need to bring the arms and legs perpendicular to the ground, but that's where we're going. 3. Just come as close as you comfortably can. 2. And last one. Come back up to starfish, breathing in. Exhale, opening out to warrior 2. Take a deep breath in here. As you breathe out, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Send your right heel high, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. You can keep that left foot up or drop it down to the mat. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop your knees down to the mat. We're going to come into a side plank here. You can take the traditional side plank, rolling onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot, bringing all the weight to the right hand. Lift that left hand up to the sky. You can also take any of those other options. Drop the right knee down, kicking the right foot off the side of the mat. If your elbow or wrist is hurting, you can take a forearm plank here. If you want to drop that left leg down in front of you. One more big breath in. And roll over to the other side. Again, all of those options are available. Traditional side plank on the left palm and the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Feet stacked or staggered. Drop that knee down. Come onto your forearm. One more big breath in. And exhale, release. Drop your knees down to the mat. Push back into child's pose. If child's pose is not comfortable for you, you can always rest on your belly, your back, or in a seat. Close your eyes and reconnect with the breath. If your hands are wrapped back towards your feet, bring them back out in front of you. On a breath in, lift your chest up to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale to standing, bend the knees, rising up nice and slow. Float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's do some balancing poses. If you're feeling at all wobbly today, you can always float your hand on a wall or find a piece of furniture to hold on to just to make sure you're feeling nice and stable. Starting with tree pose, I'm going to mirror you, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to your left leg. Right knee is pointing straight out to the side. Keep the toes on the ground, set the sole of the foot on the ankle. Raise it up with your heel right underneath the knee in that little curve. Or come all the way up on the thigh. Wherever your legs are, find your leg balance to start with your hands on your hips. You can keep your hands there, bring the hands to heart center. Or if you'd like to include the arms, inhale, lift your hands up overhead. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, release just your arms and bring your right knee out in front of you. Interlace your fingers outside of the knee. If this is enough, you're already feeling wobbly, already feeling a challenge, you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, bring your left hand to your hip and start to open out the right knee towards the right. You can also bring your left hand up to help with counterbalance here. And if you're feeling really flexible in that right leg, you can grab the pinky toe edge of the right foot and open out the leg. Again, you're probably going to want to bring that left arm up to help with counterbalance. Take one last deep breath in and release. Shake it out. Let's try the other side. I'm mirroring you, so I'm doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to the right foot. Left knee is pointing straight out to the side. Keep the toes on the ground. Bring the sole of the foot to your ankle. Raise it up. Bring your heel in that little curve right underneath the knee. For the last foot placement option is all the way up on the thigh. Toes pointing straight down. Knee pointing right out to the side. Keep your hands on your hips. Bring your hands to heart center. Or the last option is to include the hands, lifting the hands up overhead. Take one last deep breath in here. As you breathe out, release just your hands. Bring your left knee out in front of you. Interlace your fingers outside of the knee. If you're already feeling wobbly, just stay right here. If you want a bit more of a challenge, bring your right hand to your hip and start to open out the left knee towards the left. Again, you can lift that right arm up to help with counterbalance. And if you're feeling real stretchy in that right leg, in the left leg, grab for the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Start to open out the left leg towards the side. Take one last deep breath in here. Exhale, release, shake it out. Coming into big toe pose. Bring your feet about hip width distance apart on the mat. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, diving forward, keeping a nice long spine going down. Once you get down, one at a time, lift up your toes. Take your middle finger and index finger and slide them in between the big toe and the second toe. Wrap them underneath the big toe and walk them in place with the thumb. Once you've got both toes, relax your head and neck down. If you like, you can pop your elbows out to the side, bending the elbows to bring the chest even closer into the legs. Coming deeper into the fold. Your knees can be bent here. You can also play with that, bending one knee, straightening out the other, getting a little swaying motion going on. Nod your head yes. Take a deep breath in. And shake your head no. Breathe it out. One more time. Nod your head yes. Big inhale. Shake your head no. Exhale. Release your hands from your toes. Bring weight to your fingers at the front of the mat to heel toe the feet back together again. Take a half lift as you breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat, hop or step back to your high plank, double dip. Tiger Cobra, breathing in, and downward facing dog as you breathe out. Back into another version of side plank. You can maybe try a different version than you tried the last time, just for a little bit of experimentation. Maybe you want to try for the full close. Maybe you want to stagger the feet or try the forearm plank. Push your hips up towards the sky. Imagine you're making a rainbow shape in the hips. Stretch those left fingers up to the sky. One more big breath in here. Exhale, release. Coming onto the other side. Again, all of those options are available to you. Forearm plank. Drop the right foot down in front of you. Stagger, stack the feet. Push your hips up. Stretch your right fingers up to the sky. If it's okay on your back, towards the upper hand. Take one last big breath in here. And release. Come all the way down onto your belly. Take a little rest here. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Or you can rest on a cheek and wrap your hands back towards your hips with your palms facing up. Close your eyes. Come back to the breath. Feel your back rising and falling with each breath. Notice where your breath is going. Just feel your body moving with the breath. Bring your chin back to your mat. Stretch your hands out in front of you. We're going to lift alternate arms and legs. On a breath in, lift your right arm and your left leg. Exhale, release, drop them back down to the ground. Inhale. 2, and last one. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. 3 cobras with the breath. Inhale, peeling the chest up off the arms. Keep the elbows bent. And exhale, lower back down again. 2 more times. Inhaling to lift. Pull the shoulders down the back. Exhale, lowering back down. One last time. Let's come into bow pose. Kick both of your feet up. Reach back with both of your hands and grab outside the ankles. On a breath in, lift your legs up to peel the chest off the mat. Keep your gaze really low on the ground in front of you, just a few inches to protect your neck. Take one more big breath in, stretching even higher. And exhale, release. If your head was turned to one side, you can turn it to the other side. Or again, you can stack your hands and rest your forehead. Close your eyes. Reconnect with the breath. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders on a breath in. Push your chest up and make your way to a seat. Staff pose. Send your legs out long in front of you. Hands come by your sides. Plant your hands on the ground and then rock side to side to tuck your thumbs underneath you just a little bit. Straighten out your spine, stretching the crown of the head towards the sky, really lengthening the spine. Push your knees down towards the mat, but make sure your heels are still touching the ground. Flex the toes and bring the toes towards the face. Everything should be really super active here. Coming into half fish, bend your right knee, pointing it up towards the sky, and cross it over the left leg. Left leg can stay where it is, or you can bring your weight over to the left and bend your knee, wrapping it around the hips. Right fingertips come behind you. Left hand is either hugging the front knee or inhale your left arm up. Exhale, tucking the left elbow outside the knee. Try to look over your right shoulder. If that doesn't feel okay on the neck, you can just look out to the side. Release your arms, plant both hands on your left side and tap your foot. Just close your chest up, breathing in. Wiggle out the legs. And let's do that on the other side. Pointing towards the sky. Cross it over the right leg. Right leg can stay where it is, or you can bring the weight over to the right and bend your knee, wrapping it around the hips. Left fingers come behind you in any comfortable spot. Right arm. Release your arms. Plant both hands on your right side and tap your forehead down for a counter twist. Push your chest up on a breath in. Wiggle out your legs and come all the way onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting the forehead up to the knees, curling into a tight little ball. Squeeze everything together. And then release. Find your way to Shavasana. If there's any last pose you'd like to do that we didn't get to in class, you can take that now. Maybe a spine twist or a plow pose or a shoulder stand. Otherwise, just find your way to the most comfortable laying down position you can. Bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side, just letting your head fall back to its natural center point. Lift your heart up, pull the shoulder blades down the back a bit more. Hands can be by your sides, palms facing up or down, or you can bring your hands to your heart and your belly. Close your eyes. Release your body. Feel yourself melting into the ground. All the tension is flowing out of you. Release your breath, making your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind. Just watch your thoughts come and go like birds in the treetop. You see them disappear to be replaced by something new. Find a few moments of stillness to go today. Keep your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.